All right, I'd like to welcome everybody to the Dublin Town Hall. We have our regular monthly meeting. This is Tuesday, August the 12th, 2025. We're going to begin tonight with the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Well, we always like to give our guests the first opportunity to talk. We got Gary and John right here with us tonight. You guys have anything or just here for observations?
I didn't get to come to the last one, so I don't know what happened with the next door.
Well, very little, because actually it'll go before the zoning board if they even apply. So it's not really much that the town board will be doing, other than the fact that the first time they came, it was kind of a courtesy to kind of let everybody know what they're thinking about doing. So if they do apply for a variance, that would go before the zoning board, which would be out of our hands here at the town council. So,
But it'll be here, though.
yeah, it would be in this building and advertised, obviously.
And all property owners adjacent will receive notification, as well as the newspaper, and we usually post it here in the post office.
How much notice do they have to, or how much notice do we have to have before we have the meeting?
They're required to give us their application and fee by the 1st, and we usually advertise it for the 3rd Thursday of that month. So you have about 3 weeks.
So that hasn't been done yet, so
No,
it
they've
won't
not
happen
turned
this
anything
month.
in at this point in time.
Okay.
You know about as much as we do. Okay, very good. All right. You want to put Thomas on speakerphone? Did he say he really had anything to share or not to kind of give us an update?
He said that he would email it, or he could call, so.
And we're talking about Thomas from Commonwealth, our water project engineer. He actually was going to be here at the meeting tonight to kind of give us an update. And he has got car trouble and broke down somewhere between here and there, so we're not going to see him in person. Or he texted me. Okay. In the meantime, let us know if something happens there, but we'll go ahead and get approval on the minutes from last month and current adjustments and bank forms. So if anybody want to make a motion to do that.
I make a motion we accept the minutes and the adjustments as presented.
Second.
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion passes. Officer Stover, you have a report for us tonight, sir?
I do. There were 3 animal problems. One assists community corrections, 1 assists law enforcement, 1 business check, 4 community policing, 2 incidents where officers were flagged down, a harassment call, an illegal burn, an intoxicated person, an investigate battery, an investigate fraud, 5 investigations, 1 sick person, 5 people needing to speak with an officer, 1 suspicious activity, 1 suspicious person, 1 suspicious vehicle. I'm sorry, that's 4 suspicious vehicles, 5 traffic stops, 1 vehicle fire, 3 VIN checks, 1 wanted person, and 2 welfare checks.
Out of curiosity, if you know, on the investigate fraud, was that a personnel or was that one of the businesses here in town?
I don't know off the top of my head, but
I didn't know if somebody was passing bad money or something, or anything. I was curious what that might be. So, any other questions for Officer Stover that he might be able to answer this evening? All right, thank you, sir. If you need to step out to stay on duty, feel free. So, I don't think we have anything else to enlighten you with this evening. So, okay. Fire report, sir.
July 2025, ALS run 0, BLS 168, 9/11 with Reed's 3 fire runs. Dublin, 1 car fire and 1 illegal burn and 1 assist to Cambridge City on a structure fire. Water used is 1,000 on a car fire and 1,000 on drain.
Any questions from the fire department? I will add that the fire department is upgrading the LED sign out front, and the new one will be similar to like the ones down that you see at the doctor's office where they can actually put pictures on there, so it should be a lot nicer. But if anybody has an interest in buying the old ones, they are for sale. So there's actually 2 of them. They're back to back is what it is. So. Yes, sir.
Never mind, I see it. I was gonna ask Jerry a question.
Was the illegal burn issued a ticket?
No, there was not an officer there at that particular time.
Is that the same one that gets, getting it?
Yes. He was very compliant that night.
He is every time.
He actually was his birthday, so he was celebrating his birthday by himself. So he said thanks for coming to his party. But yeah, we extinguished it, and he was burning at that time like green brushery type stuff, which made it even smokier than what it was. But wasn't really burning nothing bad like mattress or nothing like that. But it was just green stuff that caused a lot of smoke. So, but it did get extinguished.
And in the middle of the night or what?
No, it was late evening. I think it was. I think still sunlight out.
Yeah, it just turned dark, it's around 9,
Yeah.
9 o'clock.
So maybe 8 or 9, something in that neighborhood. So. Okay, anything else from the fire department? Moving right along. Building commissioner, sir.
We have 2, new barn, shed, and a roof replacement.
Any questions from the board on that? All right, you want to go ahead and give your superintendent's report?
You have my report, and then you also, I think you have a copy of the estimate for the shelter at the park.
What can you tell us about this?
This is basically, he approached me wanting to put a quote in to build this. We have all the material already. I'm just waiting on him to deliver it. And I told him that if he wanted to give us a quote, we'd take a quote and I'd bring it for you guys to see if it's something you wanted to do or not.
Did we, on the purchase of the material, was it still within the quoted price that you were
Yes.
given? It wasn't
Yes.
raised?
Yes.
Is this guy actually out of Fountain, Indiana, or is it Fountain City?
I think it's Fountain City.
I wonder because it said Fountain, Indiana, and I didn't think that sounded very close.
I pulled it up, it's actually Fountain, Indiana. Yes, yes. It's all the way over near Terre Haute,
Oh,
on the
yeah.
other side. Because I thought it was Fountain City. It is
Yeah.
Fountain City zip
Yeah.
code though. But there is I'm pretty sure I looked up the Hopewell Road and it did come up Fountain, Indiana. But it makes more sense. I wouldn't understand why somebody would come that far just to,
Burn their property.
Maybe that's
you
a
would think so.
GPS error
Well,
or
I
something.
can't, my address hardly Google,
Oh,
or
yeah.
when I'm on websites
Exactly.
and software, I have a heck of a time, so.
Well, a lot of ours say Cambridge.
Well,
Here
you
in
can't get
Fountain.
nothing at the post office, they can't get it to the house.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do we have any kind of estimate of hours or dollars if Dublin did it in-house, like to compare to what we think, like, do we think this is actually a cost savings versus in getting it done, or?
Yeah, I mean, it would probably cost us more if we did it. We're gonna have more hours in it, for sure. Cause I mean, you gotta look at your experience.
Amish can do it in about an hour, probably.
We've got some Amish quotes and they were outrageous. Yeah, they were 16, 18,000s. Yeah. That was a couple years
They
ago.
don't make any money.
Do you know for positive if this guy has insurance and workman's comp and all those kind of legality
He
things?
does have insurance. I do know that because I asked him about that. He has $1 million policy or something, I think is what he told me, so he does have insurance. So.
If we choose to do that, we would need a copy of that.
When you do their W-4, you request all of that, yes, perfect.
What such fund would that come out of, Julie?
It would come out of edit funds at this point in time.
Did you do it as a carport light thing, or?
Similar
Yeah, it's
to
gonna be basically what the other one.
what the other one looks like.
It's just that the posts and the roof is all gonna be, well, closed in, so you can't get up in the rafters and then all metal.
And in figuring wages, I didn't figure benefits and everything. But if I took everybody's wages, averaged them, it was about 3 days. 3 days of worth of work. But like I said, that didn't include their benefits and stuff to equal the 2,000, which probably would be about what it would take.
Yeah, because we have to consider our benefit
Yeah.
cost, yeah.
So it would probably be a little more than that. Plus our equipment is, oh, yeah. And he's thinking his equipment rental is in this quote.
Yes, when I spoke with him, he said, yeah.
Yeah.
Have you actually personally seen any of his work?
That's why it lives so far away.
Zip code shows Fountain City though. So, I don't know if that's where he's from.
No, but I can search some references out if I need to, but.
Right there.
What do you think, Rex? Danny?
Well, I like to see some of his work, see how he does, so I like to see a table for another month, so we can try to find out who he's worked for and see what kind of job he does and stuff.
Do you know, or maybe find out with us purchasing the material, how long they can hold it? Or if we need to go ahead and have it delivered?
They're scheduled to deliver, they just have to get it here.
Okay, so
as
it's
soon as-
already coming.
Yeah, as soon as they get it here, then we'll have it. I've called them like 3 weeks in a row and they still don't have a scheduled date, but it is Gilman's. They're probably putting everything together, pulling from other stores to fill the order, I would say. That would be my guess.
So
I'm
he
just-
can't start yet anyway.
Right.
Okay.
But he can, well, they were supposed to have had it, he said it'd be a couple of weeks, and that was 3 weeks ago, so I would say we're getting close to getting material, so.
You got thoughts on the insert?
I don't know, with somebody coming from that far,
It's Fountain City, it's a half hour.
The zip code shows Fountain City zip
Oh,
code.
okay.
It just shows Fountain, Indiana.
okay.
So even though there is a fountain, that's not.
There is a Fountain, Indiana,
yeah.
yes.
And generally, we wouldn't actually pay this until you inspected the work and it was completed and approved.
I'm gonna be there watching what he does, if he's not doing it right, he will.
That's what I'm saying, we're not giving any kind of upfront payment, nothing, until it's fully
He will be
accepted.
paid when it's done and when it passes inspection, and, you know.
Oh, good.
I mean, I know he mostly does roofs. He did some basement steps for me, they were very basic, I mean, they were fine, but they're basement steps, right?
So, I mean, you didn't have any trouble personally working with him?
No.
As far as, you know, on a personal level?
No, and he
So-
did my roof at my rental,
Okay.
and it got done, I mean, no issues.
Okay. So he's got that going for him. I don't know a thing about the guy, so.
Well, like I said, I mean, I will be there to make sure that it's done right, because if it's not done right, I'll make it redo.
What's his name?
With the Brook Home Improvement?
Brandon Allen?
Yeah, I mean, you can look at the rental roof, it's not leaking yet, it's done a few years ago. Not the half, like,
I don't know what the rental roof is.
the blue house next to the post office,
Okay.
the garage and like part, not the metal,
We're on this
but
right
the
now.
garage and the other small part. But yeah, the garage was leaking really bad and haven't had a problem since.
I even though he's burning me up, ready to go to work.
So are we interested in having him do it? I mean, if Bree's, have dealings with him, it sounds okay, but
Yeah,
Well, I'm willing to try, knowing that until it's fully approved, it doesn't get paid. So,
yeah, 'cause he doesn't ask for anything down ahead of time.
right.
Usually you only give them for the material and we're paying for the material
Right.
anyway, so.
Yep. So I kind of feel it's somewhat risk-free.
I'll make a motion, we get this done with Lenny's approval after it's built.
Okay, there's a motion to proceed with a $2,000 cost from Whiskey Brooks Home Improvement out of Fountain City, Indiana, to install the larger part of the shelter down at the Wilson Park. There a second?
I'll second.
Okay, there's a motion and a second. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed?
I'm refraining.
Okay, so there is a refrain on the floor. I think there's a different word, but I can't think of what it is. Abstain.
Yeah.
So, you threw me off with the refrain, so. Okay, the motion passes. And make sure he gets the insurance and information, everything to Julie before he does start, so. I got you a Christmas wish list on front of you, so. It might be
now.
what's that?
Talking dirty now.
Yeah. And it might be a good training tool too, when Brandon's driving around looking for trouble, kind of explain to him what's on the list and what we're actually looking for. So it'd be a good tool for him.
I have a list started for him. I'm gonna add to it, so.
So we'll kind of keep this as a work in progress, but I would like to try and knock off a lot of that before Christmas and it gets cold, obviously, so.
Yeah.
All right, anything else for the superintendent? I thought, when I drove through the park last night, I thought the weed spray looked fabulous underneath the swings and so forth, and I'd seen where you'd been trimming the pine trees at the cemeteries, so that was great. And of course, hats off, because it has been extremely hot, and I know you guys don't have very much time where you're in air conditioning, so hats off to you, and thanks for keeping up the good work. And I know Lenny did, one time that I know of, bought all the guys milkshakes out of his pocket, so thanks for that. It has been pretty miserable this summer, so appreciate you putting in the hours. This is just
Doesn't the
information.
county street sweep?
No.
They get a broom they use when they do the work on the gravel and stuff. That's the only time they ever do it.
I swear I've seen them.
The state does 40, but that's it.
County just got a broom, they pull back behind a truck.
Yeah.
Just informational purposes.
Yes. I had a resident drop that off.
Does Camden still have theirs?
Uh-huh. Yeah, we borrowed it last year.
Yeah.
Where are we at? All right, clerk is up.
Am I up?
You turn her up.
Okay. You should have your reports. Wanted to let you guys know that Department of Local Government Finance reached out and asked if I would be interested in doing being one of the people that does the prototype for the new budget program that they have online, which is part of Gateway. So I've been working on that and it's fabulous. I love it. You can double check everything you do right there. It shows everything. It's very easy to use. And I think it's going to be a good thing that the state is updating. So other than that, I don't really have anything else.
Can you give us a quick lesson on the employee page here? Talks about how much basically is left for their year. So like here on temporary help, we've got $775 left for that person. But is it also the same for this person, or is that two separate 275s?
That's two separate people.
Okay. So you break it down and each person has so many hours?
Yes. Well, the total dollar amounts, and then down here at the bottom, because our, salary ordinance just has a maximum total. So the maximum total is $7,800, and we are at $6,592. So we have about almost 78 hours left.
And that's for
the
all
year.
temporary.
For all temporary. The reason that we're broke down between two of them is because one started out as part-time and flipped to temporary, and the other one started out as temporary and flipped to part-time. So to split those hours for what they were, that's why you have that.
Just trying to understand it better. Any other questions for Julie? Bob, I think you're up to talk about the ATVs.
We'll try one more
ORVs.
time on this. Take one, pass it down.
Take one, sir.
Remember, this is our discussion on lawnmowers being driven on the road. Look on page 2. I've tried to massage the wording here. Now saying, for purposes chapter of riding lawnmower, I've added, if used in the same manner, shall be treated the same manner as a golf cart, and all provisions after the golf cart shall apply equally to lawnmower. And then I've added the last 2 lines, provided if the use and or driving the lawnmower is solely related to providing lawn maintenance, then these provisions shall not apply.
Now, George takes his dogs for a walk with his lawnmower.
That will not be lawn maintenance.
What paper do you want?
Page 2.
Two.
It's the
Oh, so what's underlined?
Yes.
Yeah, oh, I'm sorry, did they not come out red? I used
No.
all kinds of white, I'm sorry. But it is what's on the one.
Yes, it's underlined.
So the new phrases are, if used in the same manner, and in the last 2 lines, provided if the use is solely related. So what we're trying to get at is if you're just out driving around like a golf cart, it's going to be treated like a golf cart. But if you're using it just for lawn maintenance, then none of this applies and you're free to go without violation. I felt that was kind of the consensus of the council, but it's whatever you guys want to do.
Sure.
Yeah, that made sense, where it's basically just on your property, under your homeowners, because it's not meant to be a property vehicle.
Right.
So that
If
makes
it's-
total sense.
If it's out and about, they don't cover it, so.
And there's now a young boy riding around Green John Deere with no deck. Like
Where's our police officer?
10 or 12-ish.
Wow.
It's clearly a Green John Deere tractor with no deck on it. So the reason I was kind of trying to squash it was because, you know, when
Yeah.
one person does it, it's going to become a thing.
Yeah.
So the answer from Bowman and Falls Insurance, we did put the question in if they would cover the policy on the mowers, and it says normally, I don't believe there are any companies that would put liability on a lawnmower for those types of usage, but I will do some checking for clarification. Normally, your homeowner only covers the units while used on the insured premises and used for property maintenance. So basically, while it's on your land, not on public streets. Is the way I read
Or
that.
if you have a business, that'd be different if you're.
For profit.
Well, it'd still be the insured premises.
Exactly.
I wish our police officer stayed here, we could talk to him more about that. What?
Well, it's got to probably start with the chief on something
Okay.
new that we changed, so.
All right.
And, you know, I mean, that's just the thing, I mean, are they going to enforce it for us, so.
Yeah.
like many of these things, they end up only getting enforced when somebody's really abusing it. At least now you have something to do out there.
Do we need to advertise this before we go on?
You have to do a punishment, or you do it after the fact.
Does everybody like the wording?
Yes.
That makes more sense than what we had originally.
All right, well, I'll call this the first reading, Bob, and have it
Well,
publicized.
actually, you had first reading last time. You asked for it to be amended, it's been amended. So if you choose to pass it tonight, you could. But if you also want to just treat it as a second reading, put it off to third, and next month you can.
Seems okay to me. Is everybody else okay with that? That way we can publicize it and
That way, if we make that.
take public comments.
Oh, so you want to public, I thought you, whenever you add a new penalty, after you adopt it, we have to publish it because there's a new penalty involved. You don't have to publicize this beforehand unless you, for some reason, want to. Is that what you're trying?
Well, give anybody that's got an opposing opinion in the community a chance to at least step come and say something before we make the ordinance, before we put the ordinance in effect.
Yeah, I mean, it would be a little out of the ordinary. You don't normally advertise every proposed ordinance, but if this is one that's so important you want it advertised as a proposed ordinance, we can do that. There's nothing that stops you from
I can see both sides of this story, so.
that. All I would fear, you don't want to start a precedent and saying, well, why did you publicize this proposed ordinance? Why don't you just advertise every proposed ordinance that makes any change?
Yeah.
And I mean, pretty much, I think, I only know, I don't, unless someone else does, aside from the little boy, I only know 2 people that do this, so that's up to you guys.
We can do whatever we want.
Make sure that we, send this a copy to both people, just to let them know. Or should I?
Or could we
I don't want to
say-
single them out, but
Right, could we
because
say at this meeting, we will have an open discussion at next month's meeting for anybody who would like to attend before voting?
so you want to.
Like, no, like just right now make an official statement, so anybody that wants
Well,
to
yeah,
watch.
and one of the purposes of getting all these video I
Right.
mean, these are supposed to be live. If somebody wants to be watching right now, they can know that. So if they're listening, you guys are going to think about this and vote next month.
And
So
welcome
you're saying not
anybody that-
advertise this, but table it until next month for a vote?
So, yes, so anybody
So it
that
would
would
actually
like
cost
to
for
attend
advertising.
next month,
Okay.
they can come and
That
express
may
their
be a good
concerns next
compromise
month.
so that you don't get the because I can just see somebody
Yeah.
down the road 3 months, why didn't you give public notice on this proposal?
Right.
Everybody feel good about that?
Yeah.
We'll table this ordinance 2-2025 until next month's meeting for a final vote. That's very good.
Thomas is ready to call if you guys want him
Okay,
to call
sure.
still.
Kind of get him up here in the middle, and that way the microphone and us can both hear him.
If you're gonna come here
Yeah.
to the meeting, you have to bring pie.
Okay, I'm gonna take you up here to the front here so they can hear you.
Hi, Thomas. How are you this evening?
Good, Nathan, how are
I
you?
heard you had some car trouble. We apologize for that.
No worries. It was, it was a very odd car just decided it didn't want to, it was done moving, and it wouldn't shut off, and it wouldn't do anything, so.
Well,
yeah,
sounds like
and that my phone died, so.
Sounds like a Monday on Tuesday.
It does.
Okay, we basically just wanted to check with you and see if you had any updates for us as we're moving right along with the water grant project and kind of see where we're at, how much is left, all that kind of stuff.
Yep, of course. So I've got, I'll start with the USDA part. They sent it back. Our environmental report was out of date, so we needed to update that. And then I had some fixes that needed to go, or some updates as well to the application.
Is that a you thing or is that an us thing?
That's a me thing.
Okay.
And it's just because it's just when the project changed, I didn't have some of the changes in the application, so I just have to go back and make those changes. Rob and his team told me that the ER updates, they've got all the, they send off letters to the state, to like 10 different state agencies, basically just confirming a lot of things, and those agencies, I think, get 30 or 45 days. So I was told that will be completed at the end of the month. So that's where we're at there. Did you get a call from anybody last week, Nathan?
No, I did not.
Of relative importance?
Nope.
All right. You were supposed to have gotten a phone call from Congressman Shreve.
Oh, yes, I did. Sorry, that was,
okay.
I think, actually a couple weeks ago.
Okay, yeah, I guess it's probably 2 weeks now.
But yes, he did call and say basically things looked in our favor and he was trying to push it right along.
Yeah, so with that, we will be heading to, they picked 8 projects in his congressional district to put earmarks on. Mm-hmm. So with that, we still have to wait and have those monies appropriated through the Congress. So essentially, we should know something by September or October if we're going to be approved for that. So there's no more rounds that we have to go through with him. Basically, we were chosen. So
in your past experience, are we pretty much good, do you think, or is it just kind of early to still say?
I would say we're in a better position than everybody else.
Sure.
Now that being said, we still need Congress to pass the appropriations bill to allot these funds.
Sure. And for those that are listening, can you tell us what that dollar amount is for this part of the funding?
I have to go back. I want to say that you guys are, I want to say that you're a 75% match. So I think we asked for 1.75. So it'd be, maybe $1.5 million, $1.5 million grant, and then, $300,000 or $400,000 in match.
Sure.
So if you guys decide to accept that, so we can talk about that more. Let me get those firm numbers. And then I can send those back over to you. I don't have them currently in front of me, but I can go back and look at my notes and figure that out. But and then we'll just use that. And with that, we will talk to them about if they will allow us to use, the Okra project as a match.
That would be wonderful.
And if not, we can explore some other avenues, whether it be through the county, economic development, or some of those other channels to see if we can find that match money. And if not, no big deal. But we'll say, we appreciate it. We can't find the match, and we kind of go from there. In terms of that, let me see here what I got from the town. Did you guys have change order number 2 in front of you tonight?
No.
Okay, that's why we'll push that to next month. I'm not sure if Walker had got that sent over or not. And then I think, in terms of the project, I think everything's moving just along fine. I don't think there's any issues. Lenny, do you have anything to add to issues or anything on the project?
No, we're wrapping up.
Yeah, that's about it. There's nothing a whole lot to report. I can
It'll be done this
I can
week.
get you something a little bit more detailed if you want from Walker and have that sent over to you guys tomorrow. But there's not a whole lot to report. It's kind of moving along fine.
Cool. Awesome. Any questions for Thomas? Well, we got him on the hot seat. All right. Very good, sir. I think
You took it easy on me with all the cards.
we try. We try the best we can.
All right, well, that's all I got. And like I said, I'll circle back with Walker and Rob tomorrow if there's any major, which is not, I mean, anything that is pressing, we'll send to you guys, and then we'll get change orders you put on the docket for next month.
Okay, perfect. All right, thank you, sir. Have a nice evening.
Thank you all.
Yep.
Thank you. Bye.
So that's the next big question, where do we come up with the matching funds?
Well, some of it will, hopefully we can use most of
Yeah,
the,
hopefully.
of the Okra money. If not, I'm not sure how we'll,
Small business or small loan
Yeah.
from the state?
yeah.
What is this for?
This is for the big project. It's still a matching grant, 75-25%, so we still have to have matching funds with that. But there are avenues with that we can get a loan, or a lot of times, like Thomas was saying, they will allow you, since we've put matching money in with the Okra grant, the little grant from Wayne County, a lot of times they will let you use some, if not all of those funds to account for your matching funds on this one, especially for small communities, because they know, you know, we are the ones that need these kind of projects, but we just don't have money laying around to do a lot of matching.
I thought we resolved that matching money on that big project back early in the year, that we had come up with something to cover that with when they started this project.
That was the first.
That was the first,
This-
that
that
was
was
the
the
part with
small
Wayne
one.
County,
Okay.
because we used all of our basic COVID money for that, and then Wayne County came in and helped him on that. So
It's
overall,
still-
that project was over $600,000 for that whole project. We should be able to use that.
But it's still in our
credit for
best interest.
Oh,
If
yes.
we do need a loan, it's worth it because we can never afford it without
No.
the matching program.
Exactly,
So even if we have to pay a little bit of interest on the loan,
exactly.
we don't want to lose out.
And a lot of your government loans are substantially lower interest rates anyway, so that would help.
How much is our 25%? You know?
He said between 300,000 and 400,000.
Yeah, I just hear that part.
What is the big project?
A lot of water infrastructure, most of the pipe we got underground is from the 30s. Well houses falling into the creek, all that kind of stuff. Big project stuff.
And all dealing with your water system.
Yeah, it's all the water infrastructure. Okay, well, that's the update on that, so we'll know more next couple of months. All right, I think we're ready for the personnel policy revision.
I think Julie last time passed out a red line thing, and everything in that is fine with 4 caveats, 2 simple ones, clarification, and 2 need your input on. I don't know if you still have it, but on page 4, once you change the week, it's been from Saturday to Friday, changed it from Friday to Thursday, just failed to strike that Saturday, so that Saturday needs to be stricken on that first paragraph on page 4. And then on page 16, that it's just really just a typo, so I think we can go through this even without you guys having these in front of you after I just describe it. And then when you talk about the 8-hour paid holiday, it was just the placement of where that phrase went in on page 16. She had it under where during emergency calls, it really applies to all of the holidays that you would just be paying 8 hours, is what you talked about at the last month's meeting. Then the 2 things that need your input on are, first on page 3, when you change to this 10-hour work week, we were still debating back and forth, is it good for all year long or just during the daylight savings months? I don't think any final decision was made, so we didn't type it either way until you guys decide whether you want it. Right now, since it doesn't qualify it, it'd be for all year long. If you want it for year long, then we don't make any other changes to the personnel policy. But if you want it just during the daylight savings hours, that would be one question. And then the second question that you need to answer and give us direction on is on page 6, as far as where they can take the community, the town vehicles during lunch. Right now it says only within the town limits. You talked about expanding that to include Cambridge City or maybe all of Western Wayne. So we need guidance on those two parts. The other two typos we can handle, but those need your input as far as what is the council's desire.
How's the 4-day week working out for you, Lenny?
Working out great.
Will it work in the winter, or are you gonna run out of daylight time do we need to drop back to 4 or 5 or 5/8?
I can't see it being 5/12 for sure. But you know, I mean, I can't really see the problem. I mean, I know it starts to get dark around 5:30. You can still see outside, but you know.
You could be pushing snow in that time too.
And that could be a lot of overtime. That's my big concern.
Well, I think if the employees are happy with 10s, that is a benefit to them, as we have had issues retaining people. So if these people look at that as, I want to work somewhere where I can work 10s, that's a benefit to me. I'm gonna stay there because I'm working 10s. That's a big deal to a lot of people. So that, I consider that kind of like a little bit of a benefit package.
I think it gets more productivity out of per day instead of having to stop and then restart again tomorrow. And I can see a lot of factories take a lot of benefit by that. So. I mean, I would think, seem in my opinion to be better to do it year round. I hate to do the hassle of back and forth and the paperwork and back and forth and changing your schedules and back and forth. It's bad enough with daylight savings time as it is, but I'd say as long as you guys feel like you're happy with it, you're getting the job done, and everybody's working, you know, their full 10 hours.
And I think that if we, you know, if we have a snowstorm coming or something, then we know we're going to get hammered. You know, I mean, that's, you know, we can look at that when it comes. You know,
I would hope you use some common sense and take off early one day and say we're going to work half the next day. So
we don't want a bunch of overtime.
Right.
We don't want a bunch of overtime.
Especially with this Senate Bill 1 coming out, so we're going to learn a lot more about that in the future. But it sounds like we're going to get a lot of cuts.
So it's consensus leave year round.
Mm-hmm.
Then we don't need to make any change to that. Then how about the use of town vehicles at lunch?
And that's for 1 hour, and that's from here to here, right? That's what you guys call the hour. Okay. Or from your job site. Do you guys come back here and clock out, or do you leave from your job site? Okay. What's the board thoughts on that?
I'm good with Cambridge City, or if you want to make it some kind of mileage radius from here.
I mean, basically anything out of Cambridge would just be 1 and 70.
Well, you got the places you need out on 70, and they put a pizza place in out on Wilbur Rock Road.
I don't recommend it, but that's off the record.
I like the Godfather stuff. I haven't been out to that one. I don't know what they got out there.
It's like cardboard.
Really?
Yeah.
So like if
One
you
at 70 is
did
good.
whatever the radius to get to 1 and 70, that I think sounds pretty fair.
No Centerville, just, you know, like 1 and 70, whatever be our max. So.
we don't. Well, we don't now go any farther than Cambridge, so.
And when you say Cambridge, you include the intersection of 170, but that's outside the town limits.
Yeah, we don't go out there.
Or you don't go.
No, I've never went out there and
You
even
can just say it.
I'm not too
I'm
concerned
fine
about
with
it.
that. I mean, I know the guys, they don't most of the time we're going to Lakeview or, maybe
Sounds-
London.
5 mile radius, that'd be fine, yeah. I take care of the interstate, we won't go from Donald to Quick and stuff like that.
Sounds
Is
good.
that 5 miles?
Five, what is it there, about five, we'll get to the McDonald's, that's fine.
Well, then if you want to pass that tonight, we can, with the changes of that being the 5 mile radius rather than the town limits, and then those other 2 typos, you can move to approve this revised personnel policy tonight if you choose.
Looking for a motion.
What did we choose on number 2?
What was number 2?
The holiday pay?
It said we were gonna keep it at 8 hours, but we hadn't discussed how they were going to adjust.
I like 2B. Pay 8 hours and work 8 hours the rest of the week, simply because then you're not getting 2 days off in a row. So, like, you don't get, if the holiday is Friday and that's your normal day off, you don't get whatever,
You
Thursday,
don't get
Friday,
4
or Friday,
days off.
Monday, because that way, if there are issues or, the town, they're not missing 2 work days in a row, like, is where I'm trying to go. Is that,
That makes sense.
so they're not getting an additional day off, but they're still getting the holiday off. Does that make sense, or what do you think?
That's what a holiday is, you get extra day off, so you wanna, 2 to 3 days, 4 days in a row.
Okay, but 4 days in a row, somebody needs, service or whatever,
Well, that-
we're wrapping up,
Yeah, but
It doesn't
like me,
happen
if I
very,
did
it
it,
doesn't
I
happen
want-
very often,
I
but
wanna take
in a small
vacation
town.
day or, make it
Yeah.
longer. But if they're working 10s, or they do 8 days or 10, but they get paid for holiday or instead of 8, their days are 10. And when you get the 10, then you get 8.
Yeah, they already said they would only pay for 8, but it's whether they get their 3 days plus an 8-hour shift, so they're off 4 days instead of,
As an employee, I would like that.
well, yeah, everybody would. But, it's whether the taxpayer, the people, the residents, if they're needed, if they have something they need.
Right, so if
to
the
be able to
holiday
get
is
out or
Monday
something.
and their day off is Friday, they would get their 8 hours holiday pay Monday and work the 8 hours, so they don't get Friday and Monday.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Right, so
They're,
then
they're
if,
gonna get the previous Friday off, so
Right.
they have Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. And then the rest of the week, they're working 8 hours, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
But you don't want them to have 4 days off in a row.
What's the pay days from to and what?
It's from
I'm not saying I
Friday-
don't want them to, the
Friday
reason is,
through,
if they now have Thursday, Friday off, and
Yeah,
then
Friday through
emergencies come up and there's 2 days of the week they're not here, instead of 1 day.
Say, hello, come to work, we need you.
But then we pay overtime on that.
You got any thoughts over there, sir? You're the one gonna be putting up with this.
It ain't gonna happen all month. Just every now and again.
It's gonna happen every time you have Monday holidays, basically. That's
Yeah.
what happens. Because they're always
Or
gonna be off
Thursday.
or
Friday.
Thursday,
Thursday.
or Friday, or Thursday, yeah,
Thanksgiving.
I think they're more Monday
Yeah.
holidays than Thursday.
Thursday
Fridays.
and Christmas.
Well, it just depends on the calendars.
Yeah,
But yeah, there's a lot of Mondays, yes.
Some
The other
mandate-
option
some
is-
mandate would be Mondays, maybe there's a mandate.
The other option is if we leave it with the 40s and they only work 38 hours, and then you still got a person coming in and working water on their off time, which is 2 hours. So that one person's still getting 40.
Right.
But they alternate who does that. So eventually they're both going to get the 40 out of that.
Then if you have like that holiday, so then you would be getting, so if the holiday's on Thursday, so you're paying somebody Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So if you split that up between your 2 employees, they're gonna make up that extra 2 hours and nobody is paid overtime.
Okay, but split that out. That makes sense on Monday. On Thursday, the Thursday is in this pay period, and Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, you'd have to do it the weekend before, but yes,
But we
that's
could
kind of what
adjust.
we've been doing so far.
Yeah, and we could adjust for that.
And then that on-call person will get an extra 2 hours because they're doing 2 days a week versus the one.
Basically, they're using their overtime to pay their regular hours. As long as they're okay with that, that's,
That's what we've been doing.
if they don't have
So
a
like,
problem.
I took a PTO day, paid 8 hours. I came in and worked 2 hours that morning, and then took
Yeah,
my
that's
8
the other
hours,
thing is,
um,
if they take vacation and PTO days, those are only 8 hours. So are they gonna come in for 2 hours? Or are they gonna eat the 2 hours? You're making it
So-
very
Yeah,
difficult,
it is.
you know
You can't
that?
take-
on your 40 hours for vacation. I mean, your
Yeah.
vacation would just be 40 hours. So that's not changing. But when you have your PTO time, if you to make up those hours so that you have a 40-hour week, you can come in and work those if you choose not to, and it's just 30. You only make 38 hours that week. That's fine too. I mean, that's up to the employee.
Or if
That's
it's,
the
if it's
payroll
the
lady,
same as
you have
vacation, if, the personnel policy says you get 40 hours vacation,
Right.
you get 40 hours PTO. So it used to be 4 and 4. You either used all 8 or you used 4. We break it up and you use 5 or you use 10. It goes faster, so you're gonna, use your vacation faster, but
But that's what I'm saying. If you just leave it at 8, you're still just using 4. You're still going to come in for 6 hours.
Why can't you use 1 hour of PTO?
Because it's a night.
that got to be a nightmare. We started doing that, and the next thing we knew, we were doing 15-minute PTO days and 1 hour and 2 hour, and so we went back to 4 hours. You either do 4 hours or you do 8. It gets.
What-
Yeah, I can
well,
take more than
what if we
15
just-
minute increments of PTO.
What if we just say we pay 40 hours a week,
Right.
and if a holiday falls in it, then the town has to eat 2 hours pay? They
I
get-
thought we didn't wanna do that.
Well, it's easy, that sounds easier to me than trying to shuffle us back to hour, to day and day.
Well,
We just pay a straight 40
the
hours.
the holiday was different than the PTO and the vacation. The vacation, I think we can do, because it already says in there 40 hours is what they get. So I don't have a problem, if they want to split it 5 hour, you either get a half a day or a whole day. But the holiday is the one that's, if we're paying them 10 hours instead of 8 hours, I think we figured that was gonna be like an extra 800 and some bucks
A year.
a year.
So, I'm not following, is it the software that can't handle the PTO increments? The payroll software?
It's a headache for her to start.
It's a headache to
We're having
start
do it
doing that and
every-
keep track of
day.
every single person.
Right, but you have to enter their time card.
Mm-hmm.
10 hours done, 10 hours done, 4 hours done. Instead of 10 or an hour every day or different people, and it's up in here all the time.
Yeah, I don't understand why the software makes it that hard to put in
It's-
2 hours
it's-
of PTO. for
It's
the week.
more on her,
It's just
because you're
harder
doing
to
what,
keep
when,
track
and
of
where.
it. It's just harder to keep track of it.
She still has to enter it into the software, so there's her time gone. If she does 4 hours, it's over, 4 hours.
So do you like keeping the 38?
Yeah, I'm fine with that, and then if we can, so the thing of it is that somebody's gonna have overtime every week, no matter what we do. Somebody's gonna have overtime. So if you're gonna have 4 days of testing, you take 2, he takes 2, everybody's done. They've made their 40 and we're not paying overtime to anybody that week. That benefits the town completely.
Okay, what would happen if you're on vacation and gone that weekend, he's here for those 4 days? next person is, so he's gonna have, 2 extra hours of overtime.
Right, so he's gonna get paid for 42 hours instead of,
And the next person is 38.
right.
Don't you understand what we're trying to do?
He's not allowed to go on vacation on holidays.
Yeah.
All right, Bob, you got that understood?
Absolutely not, I lost you at 8 to 10 hours.
Okay, so I think we're gonna stay with, if I'm not mistaken, we'll stay with the 10-hour shifts and only paying 8 for vacation, or not, sorry, holiday. And then some, they will just lose 2 hours on that week if it's a holiday week.
You see, for that, them having 4 for 2 hours pay.
Well, they're not really, because they're still coming in and testing water on the weekend, and you get 2 hours to pay for that.
You said it's gonna cost you $800, so they're gonna lose
Still
$800.
getting their 40 hours alternating. So typically, we pay 42 hours a week, every week, what we're doing, so this backs it down to 40.
Well, on a 10-hour days, we're paying 43 hours a week.
Yeah. Clear cut. So basically, the end result is, as far as holiday, we're not paying any more than 8 hours for the holiday.
I can write that up. The rest of this, I have no idea.
As far as, I mean, the PTO days and vacation days, we're not gonna change if it's a half a day or a whole day. It's 40 hours a week, it already says it's 40 hours a week.
It's kind of bad if you don't take the vacation day and you have to come and work 2 hours before you can get in the car and take off to work and go.
No, not on a vacation day. Vacation days are 40 hours a week, that's the way it's described in here. So you would get 4 days, and you're already off one. So you're getting paid 4 10-hour days. So if you take a week off, you're getting your 4 10-hour days.
Well, vacation pays 10 hours for the day.
Vacation, yeah, you
Okay.
get your 40 hours.
All right.
And so if you split it up and you want to take a half a vacation day, then it would be 5 hours or 10 hours. You either take a half, just like it is now, you either take a half or a whole.
Would it be easier than do the holiday the same way and just pay them the 10 hours?
What's the difference between vacation and PTO? I don't think.
I think we got
It's
rid
all
of
kind
that.
of the same.
Remember, yeah.
We kind of combined them all into one.
Vacation have to be approved.
Yeah, that's the only
And
difference.
PTO is, it has to be called in an hour before
Okay.
the time of start.
Okay, did we address the 4 days in a row then? I mean, is that just gonna be, it is what it is? Okay.
Yes.
Well, then I think if we just say that for any holiday pay, they will be paid for an 8-hour day, I'm not sure anything more has to be said in this.
Okay. Pretty cut and dry, isn't it?
Sound like you, Joyce? You're the one that does the book ordinance.
It's not changing anything.
Okay.
All right, is there a motion for that?
I would keep it the way we've been.
Keep it the way you've
Well,
been doing
I
it.
mean, you know, Gene's bringing up the 10 hours of pay, maybe we need to vote on if we want to pay 10 hours at the extra $844 a year first.
You're not paying overtime on the 2 hours every day.
I think what she's saying is actually holidays will turn into 10-hour holidays instead of 8-hour holidays.
So for that week, they get paid 42 hours.
Yeah, we still have to pay the overtime because someone still has to test.
water.
Even when they're off, someone still has to test, so we would still have that overtime that,
So that's also like another employee that would be considered a benefit where you get 10-hour holidays.
yeah, because most places don't do that even when they have 10 and 12-hour days. So that is a benefit.
That would be a benefit, part of the benefit package.
Now, is it part-time and temporary, they own 8-hour days, or they 10-hour days too?
They're on.
But they don't,
They're on
Come in at
call.
8 and they leave when they're done.
Okay. Okay, well, I know,
oh,
No.
I just want to make sure what their hourly days, hours work day, and didn't know they went 10. Okay.
Whatever he needs. If he needs them for 10, they do 10. If he needs them for 6, they do 6.
Okay, all right.
Just about 15 minutes.
Just not 15 minutes.
So I think we should vote first if we want to pay 10-hour holidays and make that a benefit, part of the benefit package.
Okay, so there's a motion on the floor from Bree that we would pay for 10-hour holidays.
That's going to change the ordinance on salary and stuff.
So it would raise $844.14 by today's calculations. Now, obviously, that would probably change a little bit
As pay
with
changes.
inflation and beginning of the year raises.
Yeah, when is that gonna go into effect? We're just gonna,
Well,
I mean,
Yeah, we haven't even
include that
decided
in
if
next
we're gonna
year's
do it.
budget.
I mean,
But that has to be discussed because this year's budget's already done unless it comes out of utilities salary.
we're all
Everything
talking
else
about
is,
Technically, it's an amendment to your salary ordinance.
how many holidays.
unless, yeah.
How many do we have left? How many is 4? I don't know without looking at a calendar.
Labor Day, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We've got Labor Day, Veterans Day, Thanksgiving Day after, Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, and New Year's Eve.
Oh, New Year's Eve.
Now, depending on
Do
how
they
the
get New
calendar
Year's
is,
Eve
New
and
Year,
New Year's
yeah.
Day?
Yeah.
Depending on how the calendar falls and when that gets paid, that may carry over to 2026, so that may not count for 2025.
So December 24th, it's a Wednesday. Wednesday and Thursday.
I just kinda hate to see them not go out 2 hours pay because you got a holiday. It's kinda
2 hours,
almost like a punishment for having.
lose 2 hours overtime.
So we're talking
Yeah.
about 28 hours for the rest of the year,
Okay.
whatever that calculates out to with their wages. If we decided to do the rest of this year.
And that would be split, so we might have to do, an amendment, to the salary ordinance, but that can be done as well.
How many paid holidays are there a year?
11.
Oh, they're all at hand.
All right, so you still making your motion?
So we're still, if there's 11 paid
Yes.
holidays, we're only talking about 22 hours of pay for the whole year, the difference.
Times 2. 2 people. All right, there's a motion on the floor from Bree. Is there a second?
What was the actual motion?
I would say clarify what you're talking about.
The motion would be to have basically pay for 10-hour holidays instead of 8-hour holidays.
I second.
Okay, there's a motion and a second. All in favor, aye.
Right.
Any opposed? I will oppose. So motion passes? Nobody's abstaining? Okay.
So it's 4-1?
Yes.
So now we decide on what Julie was saying, when is this going to take effect?
Correct.
So on my quick math, that it should be an extra $530 for this year. Just doing some easy math.
So we can adjust the salary ordinance and split that up amongst the funds for each employee, because each employee's funds come out differently, and I can present that at next month's meeting.
You want to go ahead and pass the revised personnel policy now with that
Yes.
in it, the 10 hours instead of the 8 hours?
Yeah,
Okay. So,
yeah, because
motion?
the salary ordinance we'll do separate.
Yeah.
All right, motion for that?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion passes. What else you need to know, sir?
That's it for
All
that.
right, very good.
So are we starting this effective 9/1?
Yeah.
Congratulations, sir. All right, anything else under old business that did not make the agenda? All first of all, we have resolution 2025-R1 in front of us. I'll let Julie explain.
That is for our, lit is local income tax,
Local
correct?
income tax.
Okay, make sure I'm saying that correctly. That is stipulated in what its uses are, which has to do with streets. And since we're not doing the community crossings grant this year, we are next year. In order to put that into next year's budget, I have to say that we're not going to use it in this year's budget. So this is reducing our budget this year for the lit fund in the amount of $5,290, so that we can put that $5,290 in next year's budget towards our street project.
Everybody likes working on the streets.
Yes.
Especially after they're already redone.
Well, that's why we didn't do anything this year, and we kind of used it on our sidewalks so that, because I wasn't sure what they were going to tear up and what they weren't. So hopefully we can get back on track.
All right, we need a motion to approve resolution 2025-R1.
I make a motion, we approve resolution 2025-R1.
Is there a second? Second. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. We need to make a approval to donate for the Dublin Gospel Mission Church. They had the water slide down at the park last weekend, I think it was, or the weekend before, I forget. They used 950 gallons of water, and they would ask that we donate the $4.71 to pay for the cost of that.
We do that every year. Yes.
Yeah, I make a motion to accept the, or donation water for the church.
Okay, there's a motion to donate from Rex. Is there a second?
Second.
All right, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion passes. Bob, are you up to snuff yet on Senate Bill 1?
In what regard?
Like all of it? So I attended the meeting the other night that the Wayne County Chamber put on. They did do a little slideshow. You got the PowerPoint. I'll let you take it with you and you can kind of brief over it. But basically, what I got out of it, and I would love for you to fact check and maybe come back in the next month or two with just like in English bullet points what it's going to do to affect Dublin. But basically, what I gathered from the meeting was it's identical to the circuit breaker bill. So where basically the state followed through with their election and basically said, we want to lower your property taxes. So they did that, which looks bad on us because either we cut our services or we figure other ways to have taxes raised on different other things. That's why you're hearing about the wheel tax in Wayne County. That's how Wayne County is trying to make up for the Senate Bill 1 tax that we're not going to get. So basically, it's, do we have more potholes? Do we mow half what we used to mow? Do we turn the lights off in the daytime in the building? Stuff like that. But basically, some of the stuff they were saying the other night was like, this would be the biggest change that the state has seen in 50 years. They're basically saying do more with less and to use all of the tools in your toolbox. So basically, it looked really good for them to get elected, say we cut all the property taxes, but it leaves the small guys with figuring out how we're going to still pay the bills. So it's kind of the gist of what I got out of it.
Well, and it's kind of a dual-edged sword too. Not only did it affect property taxes, that initially it could affect getting no local income tax or edit tax. Now that doesn't go into effect until 27. They are hopeful, and that may have been an unintentional consequence of that bill that the legislatures didn't even realize. But the county can reimpose local income taxes, which will be a version of the edit tax. They hope that they will do that between now and 2027, or the General Assembly will go back and correct that portion of the bill. But that's the double whammy on you. Not only would your real estate taxes be reduced because of what they're trying to do with Senate Bill 1, but they would reduce all of your local income tax, which really greatly reduces that other income that's coming into you every year in addition to the real estate taxes.
Or like that drug tax or the money they gave away, did they put it to work? It should have been used
I'm not sure I know what you're
Well,
COVID stuff and all that.
our COVID money is what went to matching funds for the sidewalks, the park, and for the hydrants, the valves, and what small work that we've done out at the water treatment plant. So we have used our COVID money very well.
So why did they even have one for COVID that,
Well, a lot of the COVID came from the feds.
Mhm.
So this is more on the state level. So kind of the proposed monies that they said that actually the town of Dublin will lose in 2026 was about $5,300. And in 2027, they were proposing to lose about $4,600. And then in 28, losing about $2,600, and that's for the town. Now the library itself in 26 would lose about $1,800. In 27 would lose $1,500, and then in 28 would lose about $800. Which I would think the library's budget would still take a huge hit with that.
And that is outside of our circuit breaker, because I believe our circuit breaker loss is over $10,000. I'm thinking it's like $15,000. What the circuit breaker is there's a maximum that you can be taxed on your property. So your property may assess for $100,000, but the maximum that you pay is, say, $1,000. So we lose that other $2,000 that technically it says we should get,
That's
but we
been around
don't
for a
get.
few
It has. It's been around for a while, but that has gone up this year as well. But those are two separate. He was talking about that as well. Those are two separate things.
So kind of
and
like
the size
cousins
of all
of each
the
other.
other houses
Yes.
and all that, people paying outrageous prices, that's gonna make your stuff go up higher.
It's a
And
vicious cycle no matter what
where's
you
all
look
the
at it.
lottery money go?
It's-
You never hear nothing where all that lottery stuff goes.
I think a lot of that goes to the police retirement fund.
I mean,
We get
We get some of that from these.
we get like $4,500 is what we get a year from
Is
the
they-
riverboat. Yeah.
So if you study up on that for us and kind of give us an idea what we're actually looking at without guessing and assuming and.
I mean, I'm probably gonna just rely on their numbers that they are projecting to you, so the question is gonna become, how do you replace it? And I guess I was more concerned, the local income tax, if that would ever go away permanently, that's a lot more money you're losing than even this that I'm talking about. Here, you're talking about a difference of $2,600, $4,600. It's still a lot every year, but the other is multiple thousands of dollars that you're losing.
And then obviously we know with state legislation, this could all change next year. They could
That's
all come back
correct.
and do something else,
Yeah.
so.
So I think the real decision is just, is that enough for you to come up with some other method to replace that loss of $2,600, $4,600?
So that's kind of what I know. It was all clear as mud the other night. So they had a panel of about 4 different people talking from different agencies throughout the state, kind of giving their side of the story. And I'm not sure anybody really fully understood, but it's a learning process. And they said really probably, you probably really won't feel the effects of this till maybe 5 to 10 years down the road. So.
Well, they're saying our edit 2027, right?
It's still,
Yeah, because I've already started cutting our edit back. So,
Any other new business that did not make the agenda tonight? We got a couple of nice announcements to pass along. Of course, we did have the ribbon cutting and the festival in the park last month, and that went really well. It was a little hot, so there wasn't as much attended as I was hoping to be there, but it was a good time. But the community club did receive 2 grants in the time since we had that party down there. And on the 16th, they got a grant from Reed Hospital for $6,775. And then just today, from Whitewater REMC, they got a $500 grant from them. So I'm really proud of how the community club's doing down there, and they're doing an awesome job. So hats off to them. So that's all we have on the agenda for business. Anyone have anything that did not make it for last thoughts? Well, we gotta pay the bills first.
Oh, I thought you was all done with that.
No, we do gotta pay the bills, so.
Okay.
Is there anything we need to talk about?
no, that's just what you had to sign as part of our grant, so I just gave them a copy of it,
Okay.
so they can see what
Reference
we
only.
had to.
Is that might be what he was talking about.
The IDEM,
Yeah.
thought he was talking about, Congressman Shreve.
We're still putting money in that bike trail. You guys go out on your bike and ride the trail, all that money you're putting on it.
Well, the lawnmowers could probably ride on there.
Oh, there you go.
Motion to approve the claims.
I make a motion to do the cranes as presented.
Second.
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion passes. Last but not least is the financial report. Everything happy on your end, Julie? Nothing we should be alarmed about by the end of the year?
So far, so good.
Okay. Motion to approve the financials?
Motion to approve the financials.
Second.
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion passes. We'll see everybody next month. Motion to adjourn, Gene?
Yes.
All right. Approved.
Everybody sign, please. I want you to.